Mr. President attends every groundbreaking ceremony irrespective of what village is. Is it a small village or big village or city or any other administrative buildings. He himself personally presents in the all groundbreaking ceremonies. It means how much he feels it. It means how much he loves it. And it means how much he would like to turn those areas into paradise, as you said. That's his personal touch for those territories. Is very, very noticeable. I'll just cover about smart word itself. Some people don't quite think what smart means. They think that probably smart is that everything will be technologically constructed. And it is, but not only. I would say that the smart village concept, it's all about the comfort living conditions in that village. It means that the people who are going to live in that village has accessibility to the main service activity, to the governmental services. It means that the management of that village will be quite easier and efficient. It also means that the houses itself, how the house has been built, are they isolated or not? It's warm or cold? What type of technology has been used? How the electricity is prolonged to that village? So all that matters. And I also add here, it's also the job opportunities. It's why this village should be there. It's also about the job opportunities. What people are going to do in that village, also important. And I think that smart village concept, it's all about that. It's accessibility, it's job opportunities, it's comfort living conditions, it is efficiencies of using the houses, the infrastructure, all about that. And we're going to continue to do that in other villages as well. Before we're moving into the development of the village, firstly, of course, we start to prepare the master plans. And the master plan should consider every aspect of it. And the master plan should include job opportunities, as I said, but many other aspects as well. We understand, we know what the village is about, where it is located, what the infrastructure is about. But there are small details that knows the people who've been lived here 33 years ago. And while doing the master plans, we invite the local communities, specifically those who lived in those villages, and start getting information that probably we will not able to get elsewhere on the books and so on. And getting those small details and start to implement those into the master plans. And I would say that small details matters quite a lot. And we can see it in principle, we can see it during experience. And I will even also add that even some knowledge that we will gathered, even prolonged the development of that, construction and of that village. But it was so much important for that village. We took that and move forward with that. So there is a village called Horovlu of Jabrail district. The Jabrail itself was very famous with kahrizes. Kahriz is a water supply, it's a natural water supply which provides the water without any electricity. So Jabrail was very famous with kahrizes. It's around 110 kahrizes. Unfortunately, they've been all destroyed during the period of occupation, and we need to rehabilitate this. So once we start doing the the development and master plans of Horovlu village, we invited the people of Horovlu communities, and they told us that there were 7 kahrizes that exist in Horovlu village. We didn't know that, to be honest. And they even started they show us where those kahrizes has been located. So we invite them to territories because it's empty, not a single building exists there. So they showed us where it is. And what we did, and the master plan was almost ready. So the buildings were almost ready to put in the master plan. And we changed it. We changed the route of the buildings where they've been located to making sure that kahrizes that are going to be rehabilitated, that has been to be maintained, are in place. So master plans will significantly changed, and we lost quite time as a result of it. Kehrizes is underground water. There is a water underground, yes, as we all know. There's a two way to get those water out. Either you do the artesian water, or the old type, they did it through Kehrizes. So it's like this slope. They built here the hole here, and here, and then inside it's a route from where the water started to come, and on the down of that slope, the water started to come up. So this is the natural way and the most green way to get water. And this is also part of our greenery project that we are doing in our region. As you know probably that the Karabakh itself and the region where I am, it declared as a green zone. And it was declared because it has a potential for green projects in our areas. So I would start from the weather perspective. So the sunlight, the sun hours during the day is much higher than in the rest of the region. I'm talking specifically about Zangilan and Jabrayil. So that basically creates quite a good of opportunity to enhance and develop the solar projects in these territories. And that's why one of the biggest solar plants in our regions are going to be placed in Jabrayil, which is 240 megawatts power, that are going to be built by the company, by BP. There is also other projects that are going on in that perspective. And moreover, while doing the master plans and construction, the buildings, administrative buildings, all those buildings has the elements of solar. So every roofs of residential buildings, for at least the residential buildings, are going to have the solar panels on the roofs, which will connect to the main grids and which will provide the energy for that. In addition to it, there is a big potential for the hydropowers. And considering the Zangilan itself has 4 rivers passing out the Zangilan, it is creating quite a good opportunities for the hydropowers. And that's why the 4 big hydropowers has already been constructed. It's on operation, 10.5 megawatt each. And another hydropower which is located next to Ahali village, which is called Archimed type turbine, hydropower turbine, which provides the energy to the whole village. And we will continue doing that in that perspective. And I know that there is quite a lot of other projects at the moment who are looking for the solar powers in the region, and the Minister of Energy are quite heavily working on that. Every company, and the oil and gas companies in particular, had their net zero ambitions, yes, and obviously the big companies such as BP also had that had strategy in their strategic basis. So, and they are offsetting it. How much they are offsetting, I'm not sure, but they will offset it quite a lot. Not probably in the offshore facilities, but definitely in the onshore facilities. And there are quite big onshore facilities which locates in Sangachal terminal. One of the key things that are on our shoulders, it's the vision that Mr. President has provided to us. And the vision is about the sustainable resettlement of the people who are going to live in those regions. And it is all about that. It is about creating a huge infrastructure. Roads, highways, railways, airports. It is about construction of villages, settlements, cities. But also, it definitely plays around that it's also about investment activities that are going to happen in that, because people need to live, they need to work, and happily live in those areas. That's why that's sustainable settlements. It's all about those key elements that needs to be happen in that areas. And investment opportunities are quite a lot. And by the decree of Mr. President last year in January 2023, those territories provided quite a lot of incentives, tax incentives, customs duties exemptions, exemption from the dividend tax, profit tax, and also covering some of the projects that are going to happen in those territories. The utility costs is also, some of it will be covered by the government. So this also provides quite a unique opportunity for the companies to start doing their business in those territories. And the combination of all this will definitely create those sustainable development activity in that region. And by the way, we're using the basis of Sustainable Development Goals, the UN's adopted Sustainable Development Goals, as a basis for our reconstruction process. I would say that we did quite a big study for those territories, and we identified for ourselves the 5 key directions, which will create a boost, will create a lot of job opportunities in those areas. And I will count you one by one of that. One is the agriculture. So the territory is very rich with agricultural, the climatic zones, with the soil and the territories. So agriculture will definitely boost quite significantly the GDP and the job opportunities in those areas. And agriculture, I'm talking about many aspects. It's a cereal production, it's husbandry production, it's the modern orchards, it's about the greenhouses, and a lot. And we're going to use the modern techniques to develop the agriculture. We're going to use the drip irrigation systems. We're not going to use the flood irrigation systems and so on. So modern techniques in agriculture are going to be used. And considering that I also had some background in the agriculture, not many of the Z generation are keen to have in agriculture. But what we always say that we need to bring the coolness behind the agriculture, and the techniques and the new machineries, new drones. You know, all these elements now uses in the agriculture quite heavily, and we are going to promote, and the government itself also promoting quite a lot on that perspective, to provide that coolness factor to attract those generation in that areas. And we see that in many areas, in many companies of agricultural in Azerbaijan, that more youngers are start to coming on that spectrum. So the second area is mining. Mining is also quite big in that perspective, and the huge opportunities for mining, which will also enhance and develop, which provide investment opportunities for those areas. The third area is logistics. You know that it's a part of the Zangezur corridor, the region where I am located. The Zangezur corridor passes over Jabrayil and Zangilan. So the highway is one of them, airport is another, and of course the railway. So it's all have a connection of one big logistical future potential of that territory. The fourth element is the greenery aspect, so the solar panels, the hydropowers, and the green projects. We already talked about this. And the fifth element is the tourism. The tourism potential of those areas are quite big and huge. Lots of hotels, recreation centers can be definitely built, and they are building already. So in Zangilan itself, now today, the 3 hotels are under constructions. And there's quite a lot of opportunities on that perspective as well. Well, I would call it in 2 perspectives. Yeah? So there are tourists that will come outside of Azerbaijan and tourists that are inside Azerbaijan. So the inside Azerbaijan is quite a lot of, as I said, the passion, and the people are really, you know, this 30 years of occupation hurted quite a lot of hearts, fortunately, during this time. And people would like to come back, but they definitely would like to stay somewhere. And that's why there's quite a big tourism potential from inside the country. But considering that it is a very good and beautiful places, it will be attracted from the outside as well. And that's why it is, if the peace agreement is very important, which will provide the peace for those territories, for everyone, for us, for all the neighbors around us. All of this, and we're moving forward with that quite heavily, not only talking about it, but actually doing it. And building a huge recreational centers in those territories are a good example of it. We are keen for a peace. We're keen for peace development in that region, and that's why we're doing all those big investments and big, huge activities in those areas. One of the 5-star hotels are going to happen in Zengilan, which is just in the border with Iran and Armenia. Another hotel is going to be in the city center. There is quite good hotels already built in Shusha and Lachin and other areas. We have airports over there. We have airport in Zengilan. We have airport in Fizuli. We will have an airport in Lachin. We're not building it just for the sake of building it. We're doing it for purpose. We believe that it will be a great paradise, as President said, which will attract quite a lot of people. And we're spending time and efforts on doing it right. And unfortunately, as other areas in Karabakh and Eastern Zangezur, the Zengilan, Jabrail, Gubadlis also was heavily contaminated by mines. That's one of the big challenges that we're facing today while doing our reconstruction works in those territories. And while doing the master plans, for example, or starting to build a village, first what we do, we start demining activities on those territories. Unfortunately, it is contaminated, mostly part of the border part. Jabrails and Gubadli is mostly contaminated, but what we're seeing that even those places we were not expected to have mines, we are still finding them. In Zengilan, for example, in one area which we haven't expected, for example, to have mines, and we find out the mines which have been produced in 2021. And we couldn't believe in it, but then when we open it and see it, we saw it. But we haven't expected the mines in those territories. So unfortunately, this happens, and this is the biggest challenge that we're facing today. And the major agency, who is the ANAMA, who is dealing with this is their main task, and they have their own planning on a daily basis. The biggest farm, agricultural farm, which is Turkish investor who is doing in Zengilan, so one of the, I would say, the biggest farm, probably Angus farm in the region. The another one is in Jabrail, in the industrial zone. There is another foreign investors are also do their jobs.
From where, please?
Holcim, for example, one of them. It's a Holcim, Kamas, and that's so far that I know. Iveco is also, my colleague is helping me on that. Iveco is also doing that activities. I know that the British company is also involved in helping ANAMA in anti-mines, and cleaning the mines. We're receiving quite a lot of interest from elsewhere as well, from many countries and from many companies. We're in the process of evaluation. It's all under the Minister of Economy, who is basically coordinating all investment opportunities in this region. I don't want to quote them by name, which company itself, but one of them, BP, as you know, yes, it's also a foreign investor who is doing the solar projects in the Jabrail, which already publicly available. But there are also other companies who are interested in it, and we are receiving it quite a lot so far from different sources. Today, so far, it's only Ahale village of Zengilan district. There was 871 people from 175 families. Obviously, Ahale, more people lives in Ahale. I'm also the citizen today of Ahale, and my team. We all live in Ahale, making sure that we are close enough for the people to understand their needs more, not from distance, but actually on the area itself. This is the way how we understand things better. Being there, walking through the streets, meeting people, meeting citizens, and they can approach us anytime, asking any questions that they have, and it is the quickest way to respond to those requests. And the requests are quite a lot, and it is fair enough because the territory is it was very empty. We've built it from scratch, and that's why quite a lot of questions are. But being there and responding to those questions are very useful for us itself, while doing another villages as well and another settlements as well. After the patriotic war, the new period begins, new era begins for those people who are looking forward to come back to their homelands, and they're desperately waiting for their turn. Unfortunately, we cannot build everything in one go, but we have a program for that. And there was a program that has been approved by Mr. President, which is Great Return Program, which covers the period of 2022 to 2026. In my particular areas where I'm responsible for, it's 24 villages, 5 settlements and 3 cities are going to be built during the next 2-3 years. And people know this. People knows which villages are going to be built. People knows which cities are going to be built. They're all standing on the queue and waiting for their turn, desperately waiting for the turn. And we're sharing that information with them as well. As I said, the communities are playing quite big role during the construction as well as during the creation of the master plans. That's why they know by heart which areas are going to be built first, and definitely they're looking forward for that.